most probably 9 out of 10 people, they would never did what you did. They probably
just
everything that the
accepted
doctors
that,
say
like,
or the thing. If you was in a wheelchair, you'd be still in a wheelchair right now.
That's right.
That shows something about yourself. Knows you're the type of person, not only as far as knowledge wise, but example. You know what you did. You know when you see all these pins and all that stuff, and you see a little computer there. Is that Apple? Or is that I was gonna say I'm gonna get that bad boy
St.
out of there.
Jude.
I think I can use that one, man. I
Right.
was gonna see if you had YouTube on that one. I was gonna hit that thing. But you know, when you see those things, you know, most people skeptical like myself think, hey, cuz man, he just blown that out of proportion. But once you see all the stuff, then you tell me about the wife and all being involved. And then we see, working together, and then you see the family and all. You guys work together as a team. Not saying, I know things ain't perfect and all.
Yeah.
I know Daniel's son, you got to work with him all the time and all. But as a whole and all, y'all have the same goals and objective in life. Make a difference, a positive difference in, each other. I mean, not just your lives and or just, it's all about me. It's about,
watching people's
helping
lives
others and all.
improve.
Yeah.
We mentioned that several times in my life, I heard somebody say something that really inspired me.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about my accident and how most people went to fought as long and hard to get the results that I got.
Yeah.
I had a quote that was going through my head for years through all that process. And it was very interesting. There was a successful guy. I forget who he was, but he was on Johnny Carson years ago. I was probably like 10, 12 years old. And I wish I remember who he was, but he was obviously one of the most wealthiest guys ever. Right. And they asked him when he sat down, tell me, how did you do it? How did you become so successful? And he smiles, and then he looks right at the camera, and he goes, Johnny, I fell down 6 times, and I got up 7. And that was it.
Yep.
And it made the hair on my body just stand up now.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But that was it. And so I kept thinking, I'm only going to get better if I keep getting up.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? It's when you decide to stay down that the world beat me and it got me.
Yeah.
You can accept that that's your lot for the rest of your life until you change it here.
Right.
Okay? Your body doesn't judge you. It wants to heal you. We talk about epigenetics, and this might be a fact that you may or may not be realizing, but my parents always told me that if you want to grow old and be healthy when you're older, it's all about lifestyle. You have to eat right. You have to drink water. You have to exercise. You have to sleep right. It's all these factors. So I really believed that my whole life. And I always ate clean and avoided toxins and did all these things. Well, we found out a few years ago, we meaning physicians in the world, through epigenetic studies and so forth, that there's actually another factor that determines if you're ever going to turn on these bad genes or not. And it has nothing to do with lifestyle. What do you think it is? And I'm like, no way. It's all lifestyle. And they're like, no. It's over 50% of the factor is your attitude.
Attitude.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking the way you
things,
think,
It's your attitude.
mindset.
Yeah.
So every one of our 100 trillion cells have hair on the outside of the cell, like little antennas. And their basic job is to do a weather report, to look outside itself and see what's going on out here. If my cells look outside and they see a beautiful sunny day in Colorado, they're like, go for it, doc. You guys keep pumping out cells, nothing to worry about out here. But if it looks outside and, oh my gosh, it's like lightning and storming and there's so much wind that the glass feels like it's going to break, it starts calling up genes. I need fighters. I need helpers. We're in trouble. Yeah. And so it's going to start activating all these genes you don't want to activate because it feels it's at war. And then it has to go battle this war. That's a good analogy. And so if we just think to ourselves when we start getting upset, you know what? I probably don't have all the facts right now. I'm not going to let myself jump to that conclusion until I get more data. And then usually by the time you get the data, you've already figured out the solution around the problem, and you never let somebody, quote, get your goat.
Right.
Like my dad used to say.
You brought up good, not just recently.